if you can remember keenly, there was a point in time where Waiyaki Way was under construction. So most of you already, or most of us already knew there was construction on Waiyaki Way. All right, let's take a look at this again. We're seeing from the budget, something came up for those border riders, and of course the Kenyan Insurance being tagged on this particular tweet, which means it was not left aside, which means road safety was also considered in this proposal. And you're seeing the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury, Ukur Yatani, has proposed a mandatory third-party insurance cover for all passengers carrying motorcycles and three-wheelers. I think that is if you're commercial, or if you have to carry a pillion on a motorcycle or a three-wheeler, you need a mandatory third-party insurance cover. And I think that's where the different, reactions are coming in and asking, wasn't that a law already? A lot of reactions being elicited from that particular, now the current development. I don't see a lot of the real discussion happening right now. 5 hours ago, there was a deadly accident. I want to know how this has been countered and what is happening right now on the Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. It was 5 hours ago when we had this update of this accident. I wish to follow up on the development of that particular deadly accident on Nairobi-Nakuru Highway involving Easy Coach bus and 2 saloon cars. Good news is that no one injured in the bus. However, Kimani, we're not getting the details of if there are any casualties at all from the saloon cars. As we're speaking, what action has been taken? Have the families of, people involved been communicated to? And what was the first action that was taken at that particular time? Not very clear because it was very in the wee hours of the night that this actually happened. Now, I want to hear from my director if my team on the ground is ready. As we continue, maybe I would just see them and maybe hear a bit from them as we continue with the road alerts. And good morning, Marlon. Good morning. If you're ready, how is it there? We have about 15 minutes to catch up with these guys. Hello, Marlon.
Good.
If you can hear me.
Good morning, Anki. Hello. Yes, Anki.
All right.
Yes, I can hear you, Anki.
So I'm still waiting to see if my team is ready to actually give us this particular interesting live on the ground episode of Arrive Alive to understand if we or you really understand road safety. So we will be having them shortly. And of course, Marlon, if you can hear me, you will be able to respond shortly. So remember, we are still looking at my 3 routes. That is the Twitter handle I'm using right here on of course, the segment where we take a look at if there's traffic anywhere, etc. But also, I'd love to hear from the border riders what you think of the insurance that is supposed to come in handy for you. Someone is asking 1 hour ago, having a concern here, why we have less public service vehicles today. Mose, I don't know if I understand clearly because there are no protests that were actually communicated. Fuel crisis has also been, countered. So I'm not really sure why you probably are experiencing a low availability of the public service vehicles. But still, I'm checking out if my team can hear me on the ground. Marlon? Hello, Marlon? Can you hear me?
Yes, Anki, I can hear
All
you.
right. So as we wait for them to get ready to actually hear from the team on the ground, allow me to quickly also take a look at Road Alerts KE. But so far, Waiyaki Way is clear. And of course, always remember there is no waiting, stopping, and parking out the roundabouts. We will continue to echo on that. Always remember there is no waiting, no stopping, and no parking at the roundabout, according to, of course, the tweet. That is at MyCall18341, quite a handle. Tweeting via @3routes, please, motorists, let's agree. It's not a parking lot. It's not a parking space on the roundabout, neither is it on the zebra crossing. Let's make sure that we uphold some of these regulations. And that's what we are planning to find out on the ground. If the common wananchi really understands that you should not alight a matatu on the zebra crossing. Apparently, it's us who say, "Dere shukisha hapo kwa bump." Yeah? How many of us say that when we're in a matatu? Dere shukisha hapo kwa bump, yes? So let's find out also if we understand our road safety regulations. Let's take a look again at his reiteration here is echoing again. This is Michael 18341, again echoing. I will always repeat this. Make a decision to where you are going before approaching the roundabout. Use correct lanes while exiting the roundabout. Now, he will say this and I will say this and echo with him. You have to make a decision before you actually get to the roundabout. So approaching the roundabout, like Mr. Worotet would say, be calculative, be aware, and know what direction you want to take as you approach it. Use the correct lanes while exiting the roundabout. I'll tell you for sure, every other morning, 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., we're going to witness a sort of mild accident along or around the roundabouts, okay? Question is, what really happens? Do you think fast? Do you react fast, all right? And that's it. And of course, somebody just letting us know here 20 minutes ago, Abus at Abuya Brian 20, tweeting via at Mathri Root, saying, Paletao Archives, kuna watu wamelimana vibaya. Okay, are the authorities there as we are speaking? It's in the middle of town. I'm hoping that we have a lot of, bystanders. But remember, do not touch anybody who is probably injured in a road accident unless you are trained. Now, again, as we just continue to check on the roads at Mathri Roads, of course, I'm going to be looking at road alerts KE shortly. Allow me to find out if my team on the ground is ready. Hello, Marlon, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can, Auntie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's good to have you. And I can hear Mbao Mbao somewhere near you.
Can you hear me?
Okay. So how does it look like this morning? It really sounds busy out there. How is it?
As you can see, traffic is flowing and people are going to work,
As you can see, traffic
and
is flowing as people
everyone
are
is trying
going
to
to
reach to
work
work
today.
very
It's very
early.
early in the
Yes,
morning on a
traffic is
Friday.
actually flowing.
And everyone is
All
trying
right, I'm
to
trying
reach
to
work
get
very
you more
early, and
clearly. You're a
yes,
bit,
traffic is
I
actually
think it's very
flowing very
noisy
smoothly.
there. So what I could pick from you is that people are in a rush and they're trying to get to work. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's very clear.
Yeah, now you're much better. Thank you, Marlon. And a great good morning to you. You look amazing. It's cold out there, is it not? Because it's pretty
Yeah,
warm in
very,
here.
really cold, and thank you.
So you have, gotten there first, your observations. Do you feel like the Kenyans out there are already, conversant with road safety from your own observation in the few minutes that you've been there?
Well, I don't think that most of the people here are actually following the rules. As you can see, some bikes,
Well, I
some
don't
guys
think that
don't
most
have
of the people
reflectors,
here are actually following the
helmets,
rules, as you
very
can
rare,
see.
around
Some
2
bikes,
or 3
some
bikes,
guys don't have
and some
reflectors.
reflectors.
Helmets, very
You
rare,
can
around
see
2 or 3
where the
bikes
camera is
with
pointing us.
some
Yeah,
reflectors.
that's how it has been.
As you can
Oh,
see,
okay. So then
where the
I'm going to
camera
come
is
back to you
pointing us.
shortly.
Yeah, that's how
But
it
I
has
think
been.
before we do that, is there somebody who can talk to us? Maybe you want to give us an experience of what's really happening on the ground so you can take it away by probably asking a few questions to two people. And then then we can proceed from there. But first, it would be exciting to know.
Okay, I have one of the suggestions here who wants to talk about his life as a
One
pedestrian
of the
next day
pedestrians
as he
here
goes
who
to
wants
work
to
or
talk
something.
about his life as a
Hey,
pedestrian,
good
let's
morning.
say, as he goes
And
to work
what's
or
your name?
something.
And
Hey, good
how
morning.
well do you understand the
And
road
what's your
safety?
name?
My name is Ian.
And how well do you understand road safety?
I think road safety is like how people can navigate from one place to another safely, safe and
And
sound
on a
without
scale of
any
0 to
accident
10,
or something
how
comes
do
up
you
in the
think
middle.
the Kenyan
And
roads
on a
are
scale
they
of
very
0
safe?
to 10, how do you think the Kenyan roads are they very safe?
I can say 7 out of 10.
And why 7 out of 10?
Imposing of traffic lights, traffic police here and there, and drivers going to school such that they have lessons and how to navigate of the road.
And I have a question for you. In which side do the pedestrians use while walking on the road?
Pedestrians should walk on the right side.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can see that you have a bag here. I have a gift hamper for you. This is a bag reflector. Yeah. So that as you walk on the right side of the road, then you can protect yourself. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, Anki. That was one of our pedestrian over here, and he has told us that on a scale of 0 to 10, he would actually say that the road safety is on 7. I have a motorbike, a biker here. Yes. Niaje? Niaje?
Unaitwa nani? Naitwa Conrad Afuya.
Yeah. Niaje?
Conrad Afuya.
Unaitwa
Kwa hii industry.
Naitwa Conrad Afuya. Conrad Afuya.
na umekaa kwa hii industry ya pikipiki for how long?
8 years. Yeah.
Na kwa hiyo 8 years, ni nini yenye umeona barabara ziko safe kweli kwa watu wa pikipiki?
Pande ya pikipiki barabara haziko safe. Sababu ya kwamba ni sisi tumebeba customer. Tunabeba customer mmoja ambapo tunafuata barabara. Wale wanaojua sheria ya barabara tunaelewa. Lakini tunafaa serikali itutengee mahali kidogo tu sisi watu wa pikipiki, kwa sababu tumebeba mtu mmoja kutoka hapa mpaka Yaya. Gari inabeba shilingi 30 kila mtu. Sisi tunaenda na shilingi 150 na tunafuata barabara nyuma na ni mtu mmoja. So tunaomba tu serikali pale kidogo tu watutengee mahali. Hapa ni pa watu kutembea, hapa ni mbali pikipiki zinapita.
Na pia hii wiki imepita kulikuwa na msako ya watu wa pikipiki, Matiang'i akasema wakuwe registered tena. Unaona aje kuhusu hiyo?
Hilo ni jambo la muhimu kulingana na usalama, lakini pia inatuumiza sisi kwa sababu sisi ama mimi si kutenda lile jambo lilifanyika Limuru. Watu wa Limuru ndio walikuwa nafaa wafanywe nini? Wasimamishwe, waweke kwa sako. Sisi wenyewe tuko na sako inaitwa Lavington Link Sako. So wakileta huku, wakipeleka Kisumu, wakipeleka Busia, mtu wa Busia anajua Nairobi, anajua Limuru Road, Forest, anajua kweli. Sasa mbona wanaleta wanafanya wote sisi? Kuregister tujakataa. License tuko nazo. Sasa mbona wao wanatunyanyasa huku?
Yes, as you can see, one of the bikers here has said what is bothering the motorbikes around the situation. I also have another one right on my side. Maybe he could tell us how he feels. Unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Harrison.
Harrison, hii umekuwa mtu wa boda for long, imekupeleka aje?
Kazi ya boda nilianza 2017. Nimefanya kazi ya boda na kazi ya boda si mbaya. Although for now ile kitu iko mbaya. Hata mimi nasema hivi. Saa hii hata ile kitu inaweza fanya kitu mbaya. Unaona hii mambo na run. Hizi mambo na run na pikipiki. Unaenda unapata run. Unapata saa hii tuko watu wengi sana kwa bike. So ile kitu mimi naweza sema kwanza, hii mambo ya maroon kwanza ilimitiwe kidogo. Hii mambo ya kupeana loan kwa pikipiki. Hiyo ndio anafanya tunakuwa at least watu wengi, kuna watu wanachukua loan hawako experience na barabara, na huyo jamaa hata mkienda kwa barabara ajui lights za barabara. Unaona? Hata signs kwa barabara, kuna bump pale mbele, kuna sign imewekwa there is a bump ahead. Huyu jamaa hata ukimuuliza kidogo tu. Teka wangu. Hata ukimuuliza hiyo sign inamaanisha nini, hawezi sema, seriously speaking. Unaona? Hata serikali yenyewe ndio iko na shida kwanza kwa nao access ni ambaye kwa sisi kama kwa jamii. Unaona? Ingekuwa na regulation kwanza ya kuuza hizo mabike. Unaona? Na ukinunua hiyo bike inafaa ngoja kidogo. Sasa niko na customer kidogo.
And now before uende, ningependa kuuliza, umesema about the signs na nini, we unazielewa?
Najua signs za barabara, najua kila kitu, unajua kama ni ile Jackson na who is right, who is, unajua kuna kama mambo ya barabara, tuseme kuna mwenye anafaa kukua right. Unapata kijana wa bike anakuja tu hivi hata ajui nani yako right, nani yuko right. Yeye yako wrong lakini anasema yeye yako right. Naona shida inaingilianga hapo. Unapata mtu hata hajasoma kwa shule ajui right, ajui. Unajua tuseme kama wewe ulienda shule, tuseme kama wewe ulienda driving. Pale kwa Jackson unajua who is right. Kwanza mwenye huwa anapita nani anafaa kwanza usimame mwingine apite. Unaona? Sasa unapata sisi vijana wengine wa pikipiki hawajui hizo malight. Unaona? Sasa kwanza kama ni hata kama ni kuregister, kama ni serikali wa kwanza tungeenda shule kwanza. Refreshing. Unaona refresher. Kama venye tuna register huko huduma saa hii si mambo hata na kuregister. Una register lakini haujui sheria kwa barabara. Unaona? Haujui sheria ya barabara ni gani. Hata ukiregister tukue mimi ni mtu wa pikipiki lakini lights za barabara sijui.
Sawa, kwa tuongelee mambo na lights. Ile light ya red ina mean nini? Light ya red kwa traffic lights ikiwaka red ina mean nini?
It mean stop.
Na orange
mean get ready.
And green
means go.
Asante sana. Na as you can see, most of them actually understand the road safety signs and traffic lights, and so maybe it's just a few of the ones who get like fake license or something. That's why they actually break the rules.
All right, thank you very much, Marlon. But we're still coming back live on the ground. That was just a bit of it. We're still following up on if Kenyans really understand the rules and the regulations. And I've heard one, border operator there saying there isn't much sensitization on fine. You're getting your licenses, but what are you going to be working on? What is really the information, all right? We also had that same sentiment shared right here on Arrival Live when we were discussing with the Bikers Association that there is still need to create more awareness. When you are implementing a policy or introducing a policy to these particular road users, do they really understand that policy? Do they really understand the crackdown? Do they really understand, what is happening in the country? When you're told, do not do this, do they really understand? And really, you've heard from them saying, it isn't as clear as expected. And thank you very much, Marlon. I hope you're still on standby because nataka kusikia kutoka kwa watu mtaani. Could you get a pedestrian and ask them what it means, what traffic light mean, probably what it means to actually cross the road? When do they use the footbridges? If there's any, passenger or pedestrian who can talk to us about actually, going to the footbridge if they can access any, because most of the pedestrians have been saying that they are positioned so far from the bus, bus stop, so they have to walk a few meters, which they pretty much feel is overwhelming. So we see a lot of accidents as pedestrians rather run across certain highways. I'd like to know also, if you have passengers trying to board some of the matatus there, you could ask them even as they go in, why they do not question where the bus is really standing at. And even as you look at that area, are the buses positioned safely? Is the bus stop really defined? I'd love to hear from that as well, from you. As we continue, we're continuing to just actually check what is happening on the roads. Allow me to also check at Road Alert KE as we wait for the second, segment of that live moment on the ground with Marlon. And Marlon, if you can still hear me, we are coming back to you again shortly with more discussions on what is happening on the ground. Do Kenyans really, or do you really know the road safety regulations? Do you really know, do you really understand, and how well do you understand the road safety rules and regulations? I wish I was there. I would probably ask those guys if they've ever given a bribe. I'd love to have, such real conversations. Probably ask, wase mtaani mmepeana bribe, what was the situation? Or have they really been fined, and how did they actually go about that fine? Did they go to a court, Was there some municipal way of paying it? Yes, I'd love to hear more of that as well as we continue. Road Alerts KE. Of course, just talking about being yourself, giving the same energy, quite interesting. All right, I probably missed this, but the Kenya Defense Forces has just, shared something there, Road Alerts KE. You might want to follow that for more information. Let's take a look at more. I think today Road Alerts KE is doing way other things compared to Road Matters. So we'll just go back to Atma 3 routes for the objectivity of the show. Let's see. Okay, now someone is asking here, that it is at Rizla. Rizla is tweeting via Atma 3 routes asking for sure at Kenha, Kenya, any footpaths coming up, along Mombasa Road soon. I would ask for him as well. As you can see, this space here, this particular space here is being shared by the motorists and the pedestrian for that matter. Pretty much they might have to be walking on that other side of the road. So we're having a question on, do we have footpaths right on that particular road? And of course, this particular handle at Rizla is questioning and interrogating the provisions on Mombasa Road or along Mombasa Road. I wish I knew exactly where this place is at, but I think to save those faces, there is a pedestrian. We see cars here as well, and we see a motorcycle. You're imagining if this man was right here, would have to move for the particular motorist to use way. So we're asking, are the provisions existent, and is it easy therefore to have that coordination and provision for all road users on Mombasa Road? All right, now I'm gonna go back again to our crew, my team on the ground. Remember, Arrival Live today is on the ground, and I'll be reading your comments on Facebook shortly. So I want to hear again from Marlon, if you can hear me, what is going on? Marlon, have you been able to get a pedestrian? Good morning. Real quick, Marlon, good morning.
Oh, yes. Good morning. Yes, I've been able to get a
All right,
pedestrian.
I'm very curious. I want to understand.
Good morning. Yes,
real questions, you guys. I want to understand if, they actually, stop bribery, if they have really talked to police at one point in time randomly and just asked why the cop is there, why he is actually positioned there, and what they do when they're crossing the roads. I was hoping to hear from a boda rider, tell him, what do they do when the lights are red or when they're green? I don't know if you share the same sentiments with me.
Oh yes, like
the previous guy who was here, the boda guy who explained the lights. He clearly showed that he knows the rules of the road, and only the few rogue motorists are the ones who are making them look bad, actually. Yes, Mbao Tao. No, the mat has already departed from here, sadly.
But for now, who do you have prepared for us? What are we looking at? I have a pedestrian here who is willing to talk to us.
I have a pedestrian here who is willing to talk to us, and we see and understand how road safety is at the perspective of a pedestrian. Habari?
Poa.
Unaitwa nani?
Masi.
Unaelewa sheria za barabara vizuri?
Si zote.
Time unavuka barabara, huu unafanya nini boss?
Like you look left, right, and then unavuka.
Na unavuka tu anywhere ama?
No, kwa zebra crossing.
Na siku hizi tunaona barabara zinatengenezwa everywhere, kila mahali kuna barabara zinatengenezwa. Unadhani kama gava imeweka space ya pedestrians kutembea?
They've done quite a good job, lakini si places zote. Yeah, but so far they're doing good.
Na pia obviously pia pedestrian umeona police, traffic police outside here wakichukua bribes nini. Ushawahi pitia hiyo situation, na pia inakufanya ufeel aje?
No, I've never seen the pedestrian, like, the police, the traffic police, like, help people. Yeah.
Yes, Anki, as you've heard there, that was one of the pedestrians who said that actually some of the people, actually the parts, yeah, the government is making the roads, and some parts of the road actually do not make the footpaths. And as for the traffic police, she thinks that they sometimes don't help people outside here as their work, you know. And oh, and actually, Barry, kuna hapo hapa yako bibi, ifanye sawa. Asante. So
As you can see, yes, the pedestrian just told me that footpaths are not actually everywhere.
as you can see,
on
yes,
this
the
road,
pedestrian just told me that footpaths are not actually everywhere. But as you can see on this road, there's actually a footpath over only on that side of the road, on the right side of the road. The other side, it's actually nothing, just a stage of where still matatus and buses are actually crossing, and you can see most of the pedestrians are using the right side. Well, and for the people coming on this side, you know, they should use the right side of the road, which they are not. So the government should actually create more footpaths for the pedestrians to use.
Could we know where we are at, Marlon? Where
And
are
I'm
you
still
guys
trying to get
as
a
we're
hold
speaking?
of
Which is this street
Tout.
actually located?
Oh, this is at
this is Amboseli Junction right here.
oh, this is at Amboseli. This is Amboseli Junction right here.
All right, so that is Amboseli Junction. And of course, just imagining that it's a junction, could you ask one of the motorists who probably is, I think they stand right at the junction, there's been an issue about the turn, especially when you're coming in from the Amboseli Gardens, for example, in joining the main road. Is there a problem there, especially in giving way, etc.? Is the road as narrow? I'd love to hear from one of the people there about the state of the road in terms of coordinating, first joining the main roads and coordinating those junctions. And then what do they really do when it gets packed at different hours? At what time does it actually then get a bit tricky for motorists? If you can get somebody to respond to that as well. Is it possible, Marlon?
Right now, I think most of them don't want to speak on that, and I don't understand why. But I'll
Right
try and get a
now,
hold
I
of
think
one.
most of them don't want to speak on that, and I don't understand why. But
We still come back to you straight to the ground after this break as we wait, of course, for the Sana chat. But for now, I'll request for a short breather, and then we'll come back again on Arrive Alive Kwa Ground. Looking forward to, of course, understanding the Mwananchi's perspective and how well you know the road safety rules. You're watching #The Morning Drift.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Naitwa Agnes Kagore, ukipenda AK47. Mimi ni mwanabiashara na kiongozi hapa Nairobi. Nimeitikia mwito wenu na mwaka huu ninawania kiti cha ugavana kaunti ya Nairobi ili kuboresha huduma kwenu. Nitalainisha sekta za afya, mazingira, elimu, ajira na leseni za biashara. Nitawapa mafunzo mapya maafisa wetu na kukomesha ufisadi ili ufurahie na ujifunie kuwa mkaaji wa Nairobi. Nategemea kula yako ili tuinue mtaa, tujenge Nairobi.
nini umejifunga? Juu kwa smart ona venye sasa unakaa.
Yaani mwenyewe huwezi understand fashion yangu nikikwambia.
Shenzi sana.
Oh, wewe aje hapo niwekewe chai, ukunywe uende job. Utaki kuambiwa makosa yako yenye unafanya kwa hii nyumba. Hata cha yenyewe ukunywi. Wanaume, mbona hamna roho ya utu?
Mbona unanikatia simu? Unajua mimi nashangaa na wewe. Mimi ndo tajiri yako na unanikatia simu. Vijana nafanya bla nata. Vijana wa siku hizi vichwa ngumu, vichwa marengi kabisa. Asiki. Unaona wewe unakosea mimi heshima na hiyo. Unaona mambo yako? Wewe nafuta wewe kazi. Leo ulali kwangu leo.
Mzee,
leo ulali.
Miezi nilivuta kazi hapa hivi kama hajanipatia pesa yangu. Okay, madam niletee chicken teriyaki. Hopa kuna shida.
Yes, mimi ni sonko lakini ni sonko msoto my friend. Afadhali niwaambie ukweli.
Welcome back. You're watching the Arrive Alive, and I want to just take you back straight live on the ground if they are ready real quick, because this is all about live Kwa Ground today. So my director kindly helped me find them Kwa Ground this very minute. Marlon, if you're back, good morning. You're watching the Arrive Alive, and we are looking at live on the ground. So Marlon, if you can hear me. All right, thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, we're just trying to discuss road safety and aspects of road safety this morning. Atma 3 Roots is, of course, still sharing tweets of road safety. And I am seeing here at Lemi Matt, just tweeting via Atma 3 Roots saying, hello, at, of course, the officials. When will the madness, of course, on Outer Ring near Pipeline come to an end? These guys cause a lot of jam with impunity. And of course, what I'm saying here is when this looks to me like a matatu, and I'm not really sure how they cause jam. It's either when they use the wrong, lanes, or when they just stop right in the middle of the road without indication, etc. But what exactly do you mean they cause a lot of traffic? Because from what I'm seeing, this could be moving, except they are just pretty much going to. They stop there and they're moving in. But these are Atma 3 Roads, just trying to understand what's going on the roads this morning. I'm going to take you back live on the ground. So Marlon, you can take it away.
Oh yes, hello Uncle. Yes. And I've still been staying here, traffic still flowing, no jam or anything. And people are still going to work. Yes, and I've actually found a cyclist here, and I think he's going to explain to us his ways and how he keeps safe on the road.
So far, you're not very audible. Marlon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Much better. Please bring us up to speed again.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
As I was saying,
as I was saying, Anki, I have found a cyclist over here, and he's going to explain to us how he keeps safety on the road and how well does he understand it. Yes, sasa.
Popo.
Unaitwa nani?
Anaitwa Derek.
Derek, naona hapo kuna bike. Umekuwa ukiendesha bike for how long?
Officially 3 years saizi.
3 years.
Hiyo ni officially kuendesha kwa barabara, kucommit na daily. Hiyo ni 3 years. But previously nilikuwa naendesha tu kama mtaani tu kujibamba.
Sawa. Na kwa hii road unaona kama gava imeweka like a path ya wase cyclist waendeshe road?
Si kila mahali. Huku mtaani hakuna eneo unaendesha ufeel to yourself. Every time lazima uangalie nyuma. Juu barabara ni kadogo pia. So every time lazima uangalie nyuma. Yaani keep to safe. But kuna place zingine kama Kile, at least Kile kuna hizi main road iko na ka small path hivi mtu anazanisha baisikeli at least hapo. Yeah.
Oh, na naona umevaa like gears zako hapo, like gears una cost kama how much hivi?
Gears from helmet like ni 3k 4k. Hiyo kipata Delfiti. Sijavaa gloves leo. Gloves naanga 25. Then match leo sijavaa pia ni reflector. But reflector pia naanga kama punch hivi. Yeah. Hiyo ndio gear basic msee uvaa tu.
Na tumeona wase wengi wa bike wanakuanga rust kwa barabara, wase wa trucks wakipita wakiona mse wa bike wana honk like hawajali anything about it. Hiyo unaonaje kuhusu issue?
Yani tunafanyanga daily. Si mara ya kwanza, si mara ya pili. Hata hapa saizi tu nikitoka na bike hapa saizi, unaona mse wa mat hata ajali pale niko. Hata nisikuma tu nje ya barabara juu najua hakuna kenye naweza fanya. So ni kitu tunavumilia kila siku barabara. Matime inabidi pia umekuwa ngumu juu akikugonga ikue story hivi itakuwa tu. Lakini kenye tunavumilia tu barabara every time. Basi ama personal yote kikuja lazima usonge kando. Usiposonga kando utajipata uko chini amekugonga ama damage kwa bike yako. Unajua damage iko bike. Hiyo tena ina cost tena do. So ni inaunga better city kusonga kando, msekao situgonge. So tunavumilia tu vile tuko, lakini tunataka action ichukuliwe kwa wase ya sana sana wasamat. Wase waangaliangi side mirrors, hata wengine hawana. So unapata umekuja nyuma yake, hata jiko kwa hapo, yeye anafanya tu kenye anadai kwa barabara. So sekao inafaa kwa waangaliwa. Na at least cyclists wakwe na better position kuendesha kwa hii barabara, at least wakwe feel safe hata kama ile kiasi tu.
Na kwa msee anataka kujoin cycling or something, unaweza advise nini I could stay safe on the road?
Also kitu ya kwanza every time na cycle make sure unaangalia nyuma at least. Jawezi unaweza kuwa ndani kwa safe kwa barabara iko bure, but kuna gari inatoka nyuma from nowhere tunajui. So every time una cycle make sure unaangalia nyuma, unaangalia both sides kwa barabara. Then ukicycle make sure umevaa kila kitu. At least kama ni reflector ama uko na kitu mtu anaweza kuona nayo. Kama cycle bike niko na light nyuma. So at least kama nimeyasha hivyo kwa barabara mse wa gari anaweza iona. Then make sure kuna helmet. Na uko na usicycle bila kuwa bila kwa careful kwa barabara. Hiyo ndio kitu tunazambia mtu. Always make sure macho kwa barabara. Asante.
Yes, Anki, as you have heard there, it was a cyclist, and he has explained to us how one can keep safe and also how the gears how much the gears cost.
Well, and it's so nice to hear and actually
Anki,
see that the cyclist is in the right gears.
Yes.
That's very, very impressive. I'm actually encouraged.
He has actually given us some advice, like one should wear helmets, reflectors.
He has actually given us some advice, like one should wear a helmet, reflectors, make sure you have lights on your bike so that, and stay away from the road, just to stay safe from the trucks who don't like to take caution of the bikers on the road.
Pedestrians that are just waiting to speak to us shortly, please ask them about the personal cover. At one point in time, do they have, insurance covers? Do they have personal covers? Among other things that you will ask them, and tell them I have shared my love and good morning to them.
Well, I'm not it yet, but I'm trying to get one. Yes, ni aje?
Sana.
Unaitwa nani?
Mimi naitwa Martin. Mimi natoka maeneo ya Kawangware.
Unajua unaelewa road safety vizuri.
Yeah.
Unaweza sema aje kuhusu road safety in Kenya?
Road safety in Kenya iko mbaya sana juu ya issues mingi tu. Unapata madriver wako reckless. Unapata driver anabeba watu and then ako kwa simu, unaona? So hiyo itatupa concentration yake. Tena wana ignore mataa hizi hizi za traffic. Wanazi ignore. Saa zingine unapata wengine wanatoroka mapolisi. In the process wana cause accidents.
Na wewe kama pedestrian, huu unatumia side gani ukitembea?
Mimi hupitia tu side yoyote. Yeah, I think pia hiyo ni one ignorance yenye Wakenya tuko nayo. Hatuangalii side yenye tunatumia. But mostly unafaa unatumia njia yenye gari na kuapproach, unaiona. Si unatembea hivi na gari zinatoka nyuma.
Na pia jueni pedestrian, obviously kila siku unapitia hiyo kwa barabara, magari zinakupita. Uko na an insurance or something, life ya health even in case upate an accident?
Sidhani kama kuna hizo safety measures eti accident ikifanyika tuseme Malikai. Kama hakuna usi karibu itakuwa noma.
So na survive tu na grace.
Hizo namba sijui za emergency unapiganga azishikwi. I think hiyo imechangia sana.
Na ukivuka barabara, time unavuka barabara, huo unafanya nini?
You look left, then right, then left, then right again, alafu unavuka.
Uko sure hivyo ndio unafanya?
Ina depend. Ukiona haraka yako unaangalia tu right left unapita mbio. Saa zingine hizo ignorances ndio zinafanyanga. Ukiona haraka zako unapata saa zingine place kaa hii, unaona venye magari ziko. Unapata tu msee anapita hata hajaangalia left ama right. Yati jua kona haraka, anasahau maisha yake pia ni muhimu.
Asante. Yes, Anki, as you have heard one of the pedestrians here, he has actually said he doesn't depend on the insurance. He is just hoping that where he gets an accident, he will be near a hospital and he can call an emergency number to get help. But he doesn't have anything, a health insurance, a life insurance, he doesn't have none. Yes. Yes, he said you can walk on whatever part of the road, and that is where the ignorance comes in. He has said it himself.
Should close this. We have had a great moment on the ground. So, of course, allow me to go back to the DJ 1254. Marlon, thank you very much. It's been an awesome time with you on the ground.
Yeah, thank you. It has also been an awesome time here watching how the traffic flows. Yes.
Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Marlon, if you can hear me.
Oh, yes, I can hear you now, Auntie. Yes.
Great morning. Thank you very much. That is it for Arrive Alive. Let's take us back to the DJ. Enjoy the Friday, ladies and gentlemen. This is #The Morning Drift.